Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another episode, months later from episode 1 of Winning Through Losing, brought to you by me, Tyler, Azel, whatever you want to call me, whatever, Fred, fine, okay, that works for me. So, pretty much in the first episode, we talked about like a Janna Ashe bottom lane that I played in solo queue, and we really wanted to focus on the mistakes that I was making that I could have changed in order to try to win that game. And that's kind of the whole point of this series, and that maybe by looking at my mistakes and making a video, kind of analyzing, there we go, analyzing some video of my games, we can learn from my mistakes, or anyone's mistakes, and apply them to our own games so that we don't make them and so we can win. That's why we're going to win through losing today. And when I tell you the topic today, and today is a shorter video, when I tell you what's about to happen, you're going to be like, today we're going to look at some Janna footage again. But episode 1 was about Janna, and I'm like, I'm going to break this to you right now. It's been a while, so I have no problem doing it again. Also, as you can see, I'm looking straight at you today. So I'm up in the production quality, so we're kind of starting anew, despite the fact that it is episode 2. So we're going to be looking at some Janna footage. However, I would like to make a note. This is not exactly about Janna. It's more or less about something that... What I mean to say is this episode has a moral. This episode has an ending and a lesson to take from it that I really want everyone to remember. Like, this is so important because I was so frustrated about this. So here we go. We're gonna take a look at this game. We're gonna jump right in, actually. Alright, I think, there we go. Okay, oh, it's paused. Fantastic. Alright, so what we have here, I'm gonna speed up because there's nothing ever going on at the beginning. I'll even let the directed camera stay on. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Let's focus on me, because that's what this whole video is about. It's not about the team, it's about what we can do as an individual in order to improve. So, here we are, just kind of scouting around. Now, obviously, this is done, like, this is spectator mode, so we can't see exactly where the enemy is, so we're kind of just milling about. You know, we have a pretty good setup, I guess. Now, as you can see from the team's setups, it is Zillion, Shyvana, Riven, Janna, Corky, and myself on my team. That's what I mean to say. And then also Taric, Ezreal, Morgana, Teemo, and Skarner on the other team. We're going to call them the bad guys, even though there really isn't a winner or loser here, despite the fact that there is. Alright, so we're just kind of guarding Shyvana at this point. Neither team is being aggressive. I mean, Skarner's early game, you know, it's not fantastic or whatever. Who am I kidding? It's alright. Shyvana, very known for the counter jungling, so we'll see what happens. Now, what I'm doing as Janna, I went shield first because I did not see a threat. I'm not worried. If I was worried, I'd go Tornado. You almost never want to go Zephyr first. Zephyr's not really going to help you. So we're just helping Leash. You know, we didn't do golems because Shyvana started red, so that's not really a huge deal. The early level 2, the early levels, is helpful if you're going to try to kill the opponent, but I play a very protective Janna. It's not so much about the killing, it's more about the protecting and the peeling. That's what I prefer, and that's kind of the playstyle that I play as. You can be aggressive, absolutely, but against Taric, I feel like I'm going to get out-aggressed unless we have the advantage. So I'm actually going to leave me because I am less important here about what's going on. Shyvana's just kind of going around here, actually going into Skarner's jungle, try to take some of the race, and that's how this big thing started. You know, Zillion and Morgana follow. And Riven, now this is very important, Riven actually did come for that one, and is going to go back to lane because there's nothing else going on. However, Shyvana is going to be like, I'm not satisfied with just my red, I want his red. And Skarner sees this, and he's just waiting. He's going to wait this out. He's going to let Teemo know, and Teemo's going to come. Riven kind of follows as soon as possible, but we should have communicated, because here it comes. You know, Shyvana dies there. Okay, so we're just going to pause that there, because this is slightly important. Like, this is exactly what I'm getting at right now. Okay, so where we're at right now, Skarner is near dead, and there's a Teemo with red buff looking right at Riven, and I'll get back to the game in a second. But So I just want to really point out, at this moment, and I'm warning you right now while I have the game paused, at this moment, Riven should turn around and just leave. That is the right play here. And this is the only time I'll really even focus on my teammates. But the right play is to turn around and leave here. Let's see what Riven does. Nope, we're gonna flash. We're definitely gonna flash. Because we can get the kill. Absolutely. We're gonna catch Skarner and hey, direct to camera. We gotta see Riven die. Here we go. No, oh, who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? Oh my god. Like really? This guy's gold level? Don't chase like that, alright? Just don't do that. Riven could have gotten away, you know, flashed over the barren wall and survived. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. That sounds like a good idea. Let's just put it beside us. You know, okay. You know, we all make mistakes. That's fine. However, Teemo in the top lane is dominating now, though, with 2 kills and a red buff. So I'm going to speed the game up a little bit here. Not much happens in bottom lane, especially. I mean, this is focusing on me. Look, I got a nice shield there. Now, Tarek's going to go in for some kills. I'm going to kind of prevent it with the tornado. I made sure Ezreal could not advance forward by that tornado, because if he did move forward in order to chase, he would have got hit, and then we would have been fine. No problem. It was a great disrupting tornado. I actually did pretty, if I say so myself, I played pretty good this game. I know you might be thinking, watching this, you know, why are you focusing on yourself so much? Because that's all that matters. This is about individual improvement, because I cannot change my teammates. That's kind of how you got to look at it. Now, I would like to give some backstory as to what exactly is going on in this game. In team chat. I could turn the team chat on, but I'm going to refuse. So Riven, you know, and Shyvana are kind of going at it because they don't... Because I think the Shyvana at the time was mad that Riven didn't respond fast enough. But there was no way that we could have known that Skarner was in that bush. I mean, in fact, I didn't even know that until I went back and looked at this replay, obviously. Because there's no way for us to know. We did not have that ward bush, or that bush warded. So I think they're arguing at this point, and then when you heard those pings to retreat in the top lane, that was all about, you know, Shyvana was going to gank, but Riven is level 2. I mean, if you look down here, oh, we got some aggression going on. And then we just kind of, nothing happens. So if you actually look at the items down here, Riven has 22 CS, so Teemo's 30. Keeping up okay, but it could be better, but obviously the red buff is not helping. So now if you look at the mini-map, Skarner's going to come down after he's hanging out here. There we go. Alright, so Skarner's going to come down, and Tarek makes an aggressive move to go in this bush. And that kind of gives us an inkling right before we spot him that we need to get away, and, you know, just with some great map awareness, we're able to see this. Now, Shyvana comes, and we're going to turn this around, and this is exactly where I'm thinking to myself, could I have, in this situation, Flash Zephyr'd, Flash Exhausted, maybe, in order to get the kill on one of them? It would have had to have been Tarek, if anyone. And Tarek is low, and it actually could have been... I mean, that's kind of a what-if scenario. The problem is it would have made me very vulnerable. Emotionally. and physically. So I didn't really want to risk it. For a could have. I mean, we don't really have CC. I mean, yeah, I'm Janna, I have a knock-up and a slow. It would have been it wouldn't have been a guaranteed kill. Had I done it on Ezreal, it would have been just a huge mistake and a waste of summoners, because he has 2 flashes. We have not blown any of them yet at that point, and he even actually uses one to get away. So, in the end, you know, neither of us walked away with a kill, but also neither of us walks away with death. So, I mean, I'll take that because I'll play the farm game all day. Ezreal's good, but Corki, I feel like, is a little better. Win farm. So, actually, bottom lane, you know, we're doing pretty fine this game. I was pretty happy with bottom lane if I hadn't said that enough here. So I'm actually going to speed it up a little bit more because nothing is going on at the moment. Don't you dare go to direct the camera. There we go. You know, Skarner and Zillion are kind of Whoa, gonna get the wraiths. Oh, nope, got him. Whoa. Alright, so we actually are getting pressured back to the turret here. But we are farming fine. We're actually keeping up in farm. It's about 58 to 63. We are actually winning here. You know, Tarek actually is doing some good things. This Tarek actually is making some smart plays. He's catching me whenever I shield at the wrong time. He waits for the shield to go out, and then he goes in for a stun. However, Corki is able to counteract that, because if Corki was, you know, afraid enough, while that stun is in travel, because Tarek's stun has travel time, he could Valkyrie away. And that's why Tarek's actually fairly good against, Corki is fairly good against Tarek. Holy crap, I cannot talk today. I apologize. So in the end, you know, we have a... I'm sorry that I don't focus on this other stuff, but I'm not casting a game right now. I hope that's clear at the moment. This is just an analysis on my play. Alright. I think some invading happened top. Who knows? So we're in a weird spot right now. What happens there is Tarek does get a good catch on Corki. Corki is unable to Valkyrie in time. And he gets the combo off, Tarek does, on Corki. And Ezreal's able to follow that up with some damage. And at that moment, I knew that, you know, with the Ezreal combo, that could have done it. So I made sure to get the exhaust on in time. And Zillion's going to come down and clean up on the Ezreal. So what happened in that play previous with Tarek landing on that? That was Corki just being out of position slightly. And then, you know, me following up with some pretty... And this is just an example of how I said that I was actually playing this fairly well. I thought I was playing this fairly well because I made the right calls there. Had I not exhausted, Ezreal would have got a kill, and that would have made this matchup a little worse for us. And at this moment, we didn't know this at the time, obviously, because we don't have the gold totals, but we're only down about 1.4 thousand gold. That is not bad. It's not good, but also it could be worse. So we're looking at mid because there's nothing to look at bottom lane. So there's some aggression going on here. Riven, I don't know what Riven's doing. In all honesty, Riven was 0-2 at this time, thanks to that death. Morgana's getting the roam on. And we're actually getting some good aggression onto Ezreal. Riven, if I had to point out the least valuable player, it probably was Riven. And I don't mean to sound like that I'm blaming her, because this game could have easily been won, but made some not-so-stellar decisions, and I'll get more on that in a second. I'm not going to focus on that, but I'll let you know. So here comes a moment that actually really, like, this kind of stuff just makes me want to cry. Because, okay, so here we are. I'll go to 0.5. Skarner's coming in for the kill. He wants Corki, and then is going to settle for me. Now, if you notice, I ult at absolutely the worst time possible. Because abilities kind of have a priority system. And Janna's ultimate, and by priorities I mean, like, a good example is the Leona. The Leona and Janna's ultimate is very similar to Skarner and Janna's ultimate, where if we ult at the same time, it's not gonna register in the way that I want it, where Janna's gonna be advantageous. No, Skarner's gonna get the pull off anyway and still get knocked back and still drag Janna with her. And that's kind of what happened there. I'm actually gonna rewind because I want to point out, I want to kind of go over what I could have done to live there. So we're gonna go back. Here comes Skarner. You know, I'm Skarner. So when we see this coming, you know, we react accordingly, and in good time. And in good positioning. See, boom, the tornado, very clutch, very good. Now, at this moment, I should flash, right now. Not even a question. Or ult a little sooner. Either would have worked there. The flash would have been more definite. It would have saved my life. Probably, like, they still could have dove if I just used my ultimate, because it wouldn't have knocked them back as much if I hadn't waited. But in the end, if I would have done just a bit sooner, it would have been fine. And, in the end, though, I mean, it kind of sucks that we both ulted at the same time. And, you know, call it luck or call it whatever. But in the end, in all seriousness, it was a misplay on my part. I could have ulted sooner and survived. So pings are going down for the dragon here. They're going for it. And I remember in this game, I was like, hey, guys, I'm almost up. You guys need to do something about this. And so we actually do make some good plays here. We get here. Shyvana's going a weird route. Now, here's the thing. We gain control of actually fighting the dragon. at this point. Now, what is Corki doing? The wrong thing. He's kind of just toying around with Ezreal here. Corki needs to be up with the team. Because here we go. Like, we're going to ignore them for a second. Ezreal now gets in the position. Imagine it like say a football player or something like that. They're kind of going back and forth, you know, with the positioning, and then Ezreal kind of throws a juke and then gets to go fight, and Corki's kind of left in the dust. And that's exactly what happened there. In the end, if your team's doing Dragon and you're the AD carry, you need to be there, because this Dragon could have been done about that much faster, and we are actually going to get it. However, what follows is something that doesn't make it worth it. You know, Riven's stuck. Riven really can't escape right now. You know, that's fine. Morgana gets pretty good ultimate. Zillion's kind of screwed too, and Corki's going to come in here and just try to just do something. He's trying to do something and then he's going to back out, and Zillion's he's going to ult himself, even though he knows that even when he revives, he's not good. He's not in a good position. He's going to get bursted still. Shyvana's trying to flame breath through the wall. And in the end, we lose 2 kills. We got the dragon, but then Teemo up top, you know, born and ready, or whatever, taking turrets. Skarner almost, you know, gets aggressive on the Shyvana, but that's going to get thwarted pretty quickly. So what could have happened there overall for the team? Corki should have been there with us. If Corki had been there with us, we would have been fine, and then after the dragon, just ignore a fight, try to ignore the fight, and just get out. And that's it. So here we are, back to the bottom lane. Actually, we didn't know this at the time, but Skarner's so low, stealing red buff. So brave. That bravery, man. We're going to fast forward a little bit here. Overall, like I said, this game is less about this game in particular, this series of winning through losing is about individual improvement. But I didn't really play that badly this game. It's really about what's going to happen. That's what this video is about. And we'll get to that when it happens. So, Shyvana and Riven, at this point, are still arguing with each other. They're still going at it. You know, and this is why you don't... It's better to just not speak. Because arguing is not going to get you anywhere. And it's really just going to cause tension. Alright, so here we have an interesting situation. We have Zillion and Shyvana ready for the counter gank. We're kind of setting up here. Skarner's up there, ready for the gank, whatever you want to call it. So I get the shield off, and Tarek's going to go in now. They bursted my shield down, and here comes the flash ult from Skarner, and Corki just gets obliterated. So I'm going to respond by pushing Ezreal out of the fight with a flash ult, shoving Skarner back because we want to kill Skarner because he's got the Oracle. So his kill's going to be worth about 700 gold total, if we want to count it that way. Then we're going to follow up on Ezreal. Ezreal's got the blue buff. I land the Exhaust and the Zephyr on him, which actually do stack, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm 99% sure. So we're going to clean that up fairly quickly. And what Shyvana does is the complete wrong thing. You just start, once that happens, once that kill, like that kill is secured at that point, just back out this way with us. I was even tanking, she dropped aggro and then could have kept going back. Because here's why. Now we're in a bad spot. Morgana lands a very nice binding into the warded Tri-Brush. And then Riven flashes over this wall to try to help out, but it's pointless at this point. We get the ultimate off, and then the purple team actually plays it very intelligently. I don't know if it was intended or not, but they actually wait until Riven's dead. Riven does not die with Zillion's ultimate on, and then just dies normally. So Zillion ultimate was just kind of a buffer zone, if you will. So I'm just kind of flirting around here, not really knowing what to do, because I'm out of mana at this point. I missed a tornado that I could have used on, say, like, a shield. I mean, I'm wondering at this point if a shield would have really even done anything. Because Tarek still would have been able to... Did he have mana for... Yeah. Tarek had mana. He could have eventually stunned the Zillion. I mean, in the end, I could have shielded, but I don't know if it would have really turned the tides there. I mean, I shouldn't have missed the tornado, though. So I guess that's a good point. And, oh, meanwhile, top lane. Da 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 da. Teemo. Fantastic. So what happened there? Riven just flashed over the wall pointlessly to die and ignored the Zillion ultimate, kind of played hesitantly with it, and that was kind of silly. This Riven is not exactly having the greatest game in terms of decision making. And that's okay, it happens to all of us. It really does. Now we're losing turrets left and right. Despite the fact we're down about 6,500 gold, I don't think this game is unwinnable. We can win this game still, especially as it's solo queue. Throws happen all the time. This game is not out of the question. We have Corki on our team. We have some good late game. Zillion's pretty good. His ultimate can just turn the tide of battle. Let's say that. So in the end, my opinion right now, we can still win this. As some aggression goes down in the bottom lane, they kind of engage on us, and then not really going to get anywhere. That's not going to happen. So here comes Shyvana. We're going to turn around. Shyvana actually did wake up. You know, oh, I'm here. Oh, Cork's going to, get hit by that. But thanks to some sweet Janna plays, landing the shield on in time. And here we go. Here's kind of a, this looks familiar. This looks like a familiar setup here. Well, except we don't know about it this time. We don't know about that. We are not prepared at all for this. So what's going to come here? Oh, no, we're going to go top lane. God, de-erected camera. Why you got to play me like that? Riven dying again, but we're going to ignore that, bad games. Here comes the Skarner. I had to leave his brush of safety, and actually the gank gets thwarted just by the minions pushing, and that's why you don't auto-attack minions. And look at that Zillion actually getting clutch kills on the Teemo, getting the shutdown. Now, here we go. 4 people bottom lane to our 3. We're getting some good damage on Ezreal. Here comes the grab onto Corki. I landed... that was fantastic. That Janna ultimate there. I mean, I die eventually, but that could have been much worse of an engagement. And by that I mean they probably would have killed all 3 of us. I don't know how to make that engagement even worse because we didn't engage that. It's like we just died. Now here comes Zillion. I don't remember if Zillion actually does anything here. Oh, he does actually get the kill on Ezreal. So I'm going to highlight what exactly happened there just real quickly after this chase happens. I mean, once again, Riven's not exactly making the greatest decisions. However, finally the decision pays off. Actually gets aggressive in it, and it works! Oh my god! Woo! Throwing that in the Riven montage. Nice job, Epics. Fantastic. That's actually, I sound sarcastic, but in the end, that's good stuff. I mean, it's kind of like the idea of you can shoot a ball at a hoop or goal, whatever you'd prefer, 100 times, and as long as you hit one, you accomplished something, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that metaphor, but let me rewind there for the engagement just to kind of highlight how good of time that was. I guess I waited until the Skarner ultimate was gone, and the Morgana ultimate began. So here we go. Position myself perfectly so that it would lose the tether onto Corki and Shyvana. I would still get hit by it, but in the end, I would rather die than the people actually doing damage. So then they were actually able to pick up some kills there. Shyvana's actually going to fall, but Corki's going to live through that. So that could have been much worse had I not played that correctly. So in the end, nothing I could have done better in that situation, is what I mean to say. I mean, I could have exhausted someone, but in the end, I don't think that would have worked anyway. So here we go, Riven making the big plays again. Oh, ho, ho. Now, what I'm talking about and what this whole episode's about is gonna happen soon. So right now, we actually got some big plays there, and we actually came back a little bit. We're still down about 6,000 gold, but the game is still winnable. This game is winnable at this time. Riven, soloing Dragon. Not exactly the greatest play. Shouldn't turn back there. This is not a time to go aggressive in their unworded jungle. Luckily, Reason came over and is able to make Riven want to back up. So we're actually doing the Dragon now while Teemo still pushes top. We get the Dragon. I'm going to slow us down for this team fight. Riven actually lands an ultimate. It's not exactly the most damage. We'll speed this up. 0.5 sounds good. Now we're chasing Skarner. This is a good engagement for us. We're actually doing pretty well. We're going to get this kill on Skarner, I believe. Here comes Corki Valkyrie over the wall. Misses the missile. Now Zillion's actually taking some damage from Morgana right now. And we're actually diving, which is not a good idea. You don't dive. Don't dive when you're behind, even if that's what happens. So we're diving. It was a good engagement for us. There's kind of the meter of what happens here. Teemo just took the top turret bottom lane. I'm going to secure that kill in mid. And then Zillion's going to revive over here. You know, there's a lot going on right now. I'm going to sweetly dodge that Morgana binding with Skill Flash. Super skillful. Tarek is apparently soloing Corki, and Morgana still has her ultimate right now. But in the end, this engagement seemed better when it was happening, but Teemo's taking our top inhibitor right now, which is something I didn't see in the middle of the game. I guess my point through all of this is about to show up, because here I am. I'm being baller right now. I am trying to solo this Morgana all day, no problem. Juking bindings. I was gonna juke that way, and then I didn't want Riven to get hit by a skill shot accidentally, so I juke back the other way. And then what is this? My team surrenders. What? I remember just sitting here, like, oh, let's go back to me here. I remember just sitting here, like, going like, why did we surrender? Despite the fact that we lost pretty much the entirety of top lane while the exchange was going on, we could have fought that. And this is my point. This is exactly what I'm getting at. Don't surrender. Who knows what would have happened, but I know for a fact that that Teemo had Malady. And Malady is not exactly the greatest item. It's not going to get you very far in the end. And don't surrender, because I legitimately was like frustrated, because we could have won that. Our team comp was pretty good, and if we fought it correctly, we would have been fine. So really think about it, and that's kind of the skill that you acquire when you play a lot of games. When you hit that yes to the surrender button, you're saying, I would rather, I want to lose elo. That's exactly what you're saying when you hit the yes button for those surrenders, or the slash surrender. I want to lose elo. Why would you want to do that? Are you really that confident that you're going to lose this game, that you would rather just lose your elo now instead of have a chance later? I'll take that chance. Now, I'm not saying I'm someone that never surrenders, but I also know when to surrender. If you have like a Vayne or a late game carry, like, you know, Corki could even fall in that category. If you have a good Corki, late game is not a problem. You're going to be fine. I've once come back from games, not just once, multiple times, with just having a late game carry. I've won games after having all of the turrets down, even the 2 at the Nexus, and we came back from that. Sure, the game might go pretty long, but I would rather play an hour-long game and win than surrender at 20. Because it's not even a game. We just kind of just farmed for 20 minutes and then ended up just giving up. And I'm not okay with that, because we probably could have won this. I'm saying it now. We could have won this. I don't know why this is victory. Oh, okay. I remember because it's on spectator. I don't know what I was thinking about. So yeah, just really think before you hit that surrender button in the future and say, is this loss worth? Is it worth losing my elo now? Do I really not have a chance in this game? Because throws happen all the time in solo queue. People need to realize that. Things can look really badly, and then one mistake will turn a game around. So really, really think about it in the future. And that's the whole message behind today's game. The arguing in team chat led to an early surrender that could have been a win. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you enjoyed this video. I should have more coming. I'm going to be doing these more. I wanted to get a good setup. I mean, like I said, it's been months since I did the first one, and it actually feels good to be doing these again. So, if you like this, or if you have any feedback for me, let me know. And if you actually want to send me some replays of yourself, I would love to analyze some of your videos and replays. So send me your replays using LOL Replay to azel.tv@gmail.com. I'll even post that in the video info. Send me your replays. Say in the subject like, oh, check out my replay. Oh, sweet, I'm super cool. Send me something and just let me know, and I'll check it out. I'll see what we can do. Alright, thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.